Hello, we're live.
How are you guys doing? We are just here to share our amazing adventure and encourage you guys to do something like it too. We went on an epic road trip. So before we go into it, just want to make sure you guys can hear us and
All
see
right.
us.
Yes. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope your summer is awesome. Let us know in the comments where you're coming in from and how your summer is going so far. If you have kids at home, if you're doing any vacations, tell us about your vacation in the comments because we're going to be talking a little bit about ours and a little bit of how the business enabled it all to happen. So we got hello from South Carolina. The Wicker Mama woman.
Her name's Catherine. Hi, Catherine.
Wicker Mama.
We probably will forget about that, but thank you, Catherine. I'll remember right now. Thank you guys for being here. This is honestly just a welcome back for us. We've been back for a little bit, but my sister was in town and we've had friends over. So it's been quite busy. And school's about to start. So it's a fun summer.
The summer is flying by. And as soon as we got home from our epic road trip, which we're going to cover in a second, I got like deathly ill. I was in bed for like 2.5 days straight. I don't know if it was the big C or if it was just a cold. But I did not feel very good.
Yeah, I was sick before. So at least we hugged the vacation of being sick before and after and not on the vacation itself. So we've been thinking for years to do this road trip. We know our friends have done it and their kids were still in diapers, but we just are not that adventurous. So we waited until our youngest was out of diapers and then we did it.
Yeah. Ever since we started dating, we both knew we're each kind of risk averse in our own way. And so the idea of just jet setting or I guess road setting and taking a big travel and leaving the house behind, locking the door and just leaving. It's always been a great dream of ours. We like the idea of the freedom, but we're sometimes afraid to take it. Yeah. And we decided this was the first year, hopefully of many, to do something like this.
Yes. And I have it recorded. Yes, he said it.
It's on the internet.
It's recorded. You guys can all hold him accountable. He said one of many. So I would be fine, if we do this once a year. I think I'd be okay with that.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be multiple times a year, but it was amazing and epic. John's more of a homebody. I'm a homebody for a day, and then I just have to get out of the house. I have to go do something. Just have to go get some fresh air. So I love going out and just exploring. And the biggest thing for me about the road trip was how almost in a way you think it would be stressful because you're on the road and you're seeing new places, but it was also stress-free because we only had one little suitcase of laundry for everybody. I had no kitchen to clean, which thank you, you do it. I had no bathrooms to clean. I had no laundry to fold. It was pretty much as simple. This is the minivan. So we did the whole trip in our minivan. And that was everything we owned for a month. And it was just so simple and minimalist in a sense, where coming back to a house and taking care of a house again is a lot of work. It's awesome. It's a privilege to have a house. But it is a lot of work to keep
have a home.
Yeah, to keep it clean and tidy.
Yeah, by the end of the road trip, we had a system set up where you pull into the, where you check into the hotel and Susie would go take care of the cloud. We had it down to a science. We like a little military family going in and unpacking and getting ready because we'd done it for days and days and days.
Yeah, after the 20th time, we're like, this is our system of checking in, checking out. We got it.
Good vibes. I like that, Zoe. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, so fantastic. Hope you guys are having a fantastic summer as well. So what do you want to do, Susie? You want to show them kind of the big...
Yes.
Let's start with this.
Yours is so much better. I made a spreadsheet and then John's like, here's our map. I'm like,
all right.
That's cooler.
So we are going to, this is not meant to be like us bragging or anything. It's just, we really had a fun time. We want to share that with you guys and also want to explain to you why we've been so quiet this summer. Having 3 kids at home kept us quiet a little bit, but this kept us real quiet. So do you want to walk us through what the heck is going on here, Susie?
Yeah, I wish I can use your mouse, right?
You may.
Okay. So thanks, Liz. Happy to see you
Liz.
too.
Oh, so fantastic.
All right. So can we take this little thingy away or not?
I've done this
you have
once.
To explore with it.
You might be able to click the graph. I don't know. You click anything, it's at your own risk.
All right. So we started here in Orlando around just the end of May. We started here and we did a solid 6-hour stretch. Solid, guys.
Slow travel.
It's very slow travel to Rosemary Beach. So I'm going to give you some places that we really enjoyed visiting. And then at the end, we can share how we made this all possible and what kind of business do we run that allowed us to take off 34, 35 days and literally not even have internet some of the time. And the business was still running and making a full-time income. So let's go through all the fun stuff and then we'll go into like how this all worked.
And any questions you have as Susie's walking through, feel free to put them in the comments and we'll do our best to get to them at the end.
Awesome. So, okay. So we went from Winter Garden to Rosemary Beach. Really nice, very posh area, very fancy. The beach is white sand and the water is crystal clear. So we normally go visit Siesta Key with my sister and my mom. We have a little girls thing that we do every week, or not every week, every year. I wish every year. And I thought Siesta Key was the only place with white sand and really pretty water. But Destin, Florida, and I've heard raves about it before, is really pretty. So Rosemary Beach, Destin area, awesome little place to go. Good. Was that all okay?
Yeah, no, all good.
Something popping up here. Then from Destin, we trekked a little north and we went to Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Vicksburg.
So this was a little gem that we had this is so cool. Look at this. I'm so like, look at what I did. I made a little chart and then John's like this. I'm like, okay, so you're so much better. So we went to Vicksburg. It was right on the border of Mississippi and Louisiana. You can see that there. And I wanted the trip to be kind of memorable and not just stay in Holiday Inn Expresses the whole time. So we found this historical house that we stayed in
Chuka.
And it was really cool. We had this beautiful canopy bed, and then you walk through a little hallway in the kids' room where it's in the back. And it was relatively about the same price as like a nice hotel, but it was a cool experience to be in this like 100-year-old house.
More than that, it was antebellum. It was like my grandfather was a big Civil War aficionado. He loved it. He's a good old Southern gentleman. And I could just imagine him looking down on us now. He's passed away several years ago and seeing us, oh yeah, and Chuka, I read about that in the book. I could have just seen him doing that, Grandpa.
Oh, it was beautiful. So if you're ever in Vicksburg, Mississippi, on the border of Louisiana, Chuka is a great place to stay. There's also a cool little rooftop bar that we went to, and we saw the sunset. So that was pretty awesome. And while we were there, the people behind us were from the Netherlands. Yeah. So pretty popular little space.
Good memory. I forgot about that.
Yeah. People from all over the world. All right. So the next day, we drove from Vicksburg to, we probably stopped there for gas.
I guess.
Yeah.
So cool. So I didn't plot any of this. This is a creepy feature. I'll just tell you, this is a creepy feature of Google Maps where you can see your timeline. And I've never looked at it, but you can click into every day and see every place we drove. Extremely scary stuff, but it's kind of helpful.
I see exactly. But this is private just to you.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
That's what they want you to think.
All right. We went from Vicksburg to Fort Worth and we stayed at, do you remember what it's called? Stockyards?
Oh, goodness. Fort Worth? Stockyards was Fort Worth, yeah.
Yeah, we stayed at the Stockyards Hotel.
Look at that.
And we made
it cool.
Just in time to see the Bulls the Longhorns walk through that Exchange Avenue. It was pretty darn cool.
And I'll stop right now. Pamela, go get some sleep. If your eyes are sleepy and heavy, we did not sleep very well last night either. So we feel you. You go take care of yourself. And Allie, I'm excited that you are excited to hear about this. Have fun. And this also, I think, the first Facebook comment. So thank you for showing up on Facebook. I was worried it wasn't working.
Oh, okay. Allie's on Facebook. Great.
Continue our tour guide. And also, poll for the audience right now. Should Susie side hustle as a travel blogger or a trip planner or something? Because she came into her element. I saw her eyes light up the way I've never seen them light up when I was driving pretty much a lot of the time, and she was in the side seat just researching things on next places to go. So let us know if we need to have another little business to play with.
Yeah. Fort Worth. So Debbie, we found like the nicest people in Fort Worth.
Yes.
Like everybody there was so generous. At the restaurant where we had steak, which was the most amazing steak, like really, really good steak in Texas. The waiter just sat there with us and just chatted.
Yep.
And everybody like in the hotel room were really nice. And in the hotel itself, not the hotel. You were in the hotel room.
What?
I'm like, in the hotel room, they were nice, but they weren't in the hotel room. They were in the hotel room.
Okay.
Anyway, so that night our son fell off of
Yes.
a very high bar stool. We were playing. What am I playing that game?
The beanbag tossing game,
Cornhole.
cornhole. Yep. And there's a beautiful little microbrewery, really fun place, and it was really kid friendly, except for one portion of it. Johnny climbed up onto the high bar stools and just hanging out. And he needs to move. He's a boy. He's a 4-year-old boy who's in the car for a lot of time, and he just shook the wrong way and fell off the bar stool. And there were those big, probably 6x6 logs, like the little borders of little areas. They like make little lines on the roads, and he came down on his collarbone. No, what is this? Eyebrow.
Yeah.
Right on
Skull.
The wood, and I thought we were going to the hospital. I was not happy. He was bleeding.
Yes. Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
It swelled shut the next couple of days, and for a week you could see there was some damage, but he's all recovered now. So little kids recover quickly. But that was fun.
Yes.
And then at the hotel, they gave us a little toy for him. So he really enjoyed it. Fort Worth was awesome.
Zoom us out.
Okay. After Fort Worth, we went again a little north up to, and all of our drives are about 6 hours per day. Nothing. We didn't try to do too much more because the kids really, it's hard on the kids to just sit in the car for that long. Then we went to Amarillo.
Which there's a lot of songs about Amarillo, old Western songs. We Googled all the songs of the destinations we were going to that day.
And then we would listen to them. And lots of songs about San Antonio too. You Texans have a lot of songs about yourself.
There's a lot of pride in Texas.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Texas. It was a great state.
Texas was cool. In Amarillo, we saw more longhorns going through the city just by chance. They do it once a year, and that was the night that we were there. So that was pretty cool. Like massive, big cows, steers.
And longhorns. Yep.
Yes. And then we went to the Big Texan, which is a very big tourist stop, but it was awesome. We had great food there too. We
saw somebody try to do one of those challenges where they give you like a 96-ounce porterhouse, something crazy steak and a potato, and you have to eat it in 30 minutes or something. The guy did a valiant effort, but I don't think he was really planning on eating the whole thing. But he put on a good show for us all.
Yeah, he definitely did.
No audio
on Facebook. Maybe that's why.
Is YouTube? Are you guys hearing us okay?
I think so.
Obviously.
Yeah, I think so. They're responding to our comments.
Sorry, Sandra.
Can you go on Facebook? Oh, no.
I'm not going to mess with it while we're going.
Okay.
Because if it's working, it's streaming here. So
yeah.
I apologize if you're not having any audio.
How can we say like go to YouTube? Can we just put something on the screen?
Yeah.
You do that.
Yeah, and you should chat.
Audio works on YouTube.
Oh, Rachel can hear on Facebook. Okay.
Oh.
Sandra, turn your volume up. I'm sorry.
Turn your volume up.
Okay.
Maybe your headphones not plugged in all the way.
Okay.
Cool.
Stressing us out.
So in Amarillo, we went to the Big Texan. Really delicious. Then the next day, we quickly went to Palo Duro Canyon State Park just because it was right there. And it was very pretty. That was our first tiny little hike.
Mm-hmm.
And our kids were not having it. And we're like, how are we going to do this road trip and go hike when they can't even do 30 minutes? But it was the first one for warming them up.
Yeah. We might need to go a little faster. We're at 13 minutes and we're on our first spot.
We're going to go a little faster. Sorry, guys. Okay, we haven't even gotten to the best part. Okay,
just time check here.
Okay, Santa Fe, after Amarillo was Santa Fe. There's a restaurant there that had the most amazing. Okay, sorry, just like my highlights. Chili Nogada. That's what you call it. So if anybody wants to know the name of the restaurant that we went to in Santa Fe that had phenomenal, it was
life-changing.
Like and then I looked at the recipe online and it would take me 3-4 days to make it because there's so many steps. So Chili Nogada in Santa Fe, amazing. Then we went up to Chimayu. There's a pilgrimage site there of a little church. So we went there for just as we were driving north, and that was really pretty to see that. After Chimayu, we went to Taos. In Taos, there's an amazing chocolate place. And I was fasting the whole day until like 2 p.m. We finally get to Taos. And the first thing I eat is chocolate. And it kind of hit me real hard.
Yeah, if you're looking for diet advice, don't break a fast with a bunch of chocolate and cream.
Chocolate drink, chocolate pie, chocolate cookie, chocolate everything. That was yummy. Great little chocolate place. Okay. After Taos, we went up to, and then you can talk about Alamosa. We went to Alamosa. Do you remember what we did here?
No, I forgot. What did we do in Alamosa?
We went to Chili's.
Oh, goodness.
And then the Great Sand Dunes. You can talk about that.
The sand
I'll
dunes
get a
were
picture
fun.
of here,
Yes. And actually, I think on the one of the pictures on the thumbnail of this YouTube live is us going down the sand dunes, and that was super fun. Jay Ewans thought this about how we made a full-time income on vacation. Yes. Sorry, we're getting really into the vacation itself and less on the how we did the whole thing. Thank you for reining us in on that. But feel free if you have any questions. We're going to go through our trip a little bit, and then we're going to talk about all the tactical stuff. And there will be a replay if you don't want to hear about our vacation. No harm, no foul, or anything like that. You
like as a mom, if I'm listening to this, I'd be like, "Oh man, just give me some good travel advice."
There it is.
Yeah.
See? Little gifts. All right. Yeah, sand dunes are great. All the national parks we did had something unique. It was really, really fun.
Sand dunes were awesome. After Alamosa, we went to Colorado Springs, and then we stayed in a castle on the grounds of a castle, Glen Erie. Glen Erie Castle. So I almost didn't want to share this with you guys because it's such an awesome little spot. So Glen Erie and Colorado Springs, if you're there, check it out for a night. Very peaceful, very beautiful. And the breakfast in the morning is phenomenal.
It's a real castle.
Yeah.
And then we went up to, gosh, you're better at this. You remember the trips. I was just the driver. I followed the blue line the whole time.
You did so great. Then we spent a week with my family in Frisco, Breckenridge area. It was my mom's 60th. So we were all there. So that was kind of the big come together of the road trip with the family. And then after that week, we went off and we kept going west on our road trip. We went through Grand Junction into Moab. And now Moab is one of my highlights because we went to Arches.
Oh, you brought props.
I know, I brought props. Arches, look, and we collected these.
Yeah,
and Canyonlands. So kind of not that as popular as Grand Canyon, but I honestly liked it a little bit more. There were more like kid-friendly hikes, more fun things to see. And then the drive into Canyonlands, you were actually driving through the valley and going up. Where in Grand Canyon, you're just driving and you're looking down, and that's pretty much it. Which I love the Grand Canyon, but Canyonlands was a little gem.
Doesn't get enough respect.
Doesn't get enough
More
respect.
love for Canyonlands.
All right. So we're about halfway through our trip. After that.
And this is probably day like 20 at this point.
Yeah. Mal in Santa Fe. I saw that.
Okay.
Mal. We definitely have to do this again.
We're going back to Santa Fe to get those peppers.
Oh,
those peppers.
Amazing. Then
it's just automatically.
So is Dead Horse. Yeah. Guys, give me your tips so the next time on next year's road trip, I can go see the other stuff too. Cool. So then we went down to Lake Powell and we stayed in Page. We went to Antelope Canyons. Yeah. Walking through the cool canyons there.
Got a tour from the Navajo. Yeah.
From Bambi from Navajo.
Bambi.
Yeah.
Decent tour guide.
That was fun. The kids really liked it. Hearing the stories about it. We did not see Horseshoe Bend because the kids were having too much fun in the pool at the hotel.
Yes.
So we missed it. That's okay next time.
We needed to have some rest days along the way. Yeah. Resting in the hotel.
Yeah. After this, we went into Utah. We stayed in Kanab, which was a little far, but I tried to stay between Bryce and Zion.
Mm-hmm.
So one day we had Bryce. We went there and we did the Wall Street hike down.
Ooh, that was fun.
Which was very scary. Bryce, I gotta prove it, right?
That was the most physical work of the trip. That hike was hard.
Bryce was cool.
And I carried the kids. I just rotated from carrying one to the other to get them through the hike.
Yeah.
Good times.
Then next day we went to Zion. I saw somebody else actually. Yeah, there you go. She hired a professional photographer in Zion, which is a brilliant idea. She got beautiful family pictures, which next time we do that, and then we can use that as our Christmas card. Easy peasy. But we just took some pictures with our cell phones, which is, A-okay.
Good.
So those two national parks were amazing. Then we went down to the Grand Canyon.
Yep.
And we were able to snag one night in the Grand Canyon. So that was super fun. Like Grand Canyon. And everywhere you see in the parks, they're like half the park is after dark. So 3:00 in the morning in the Grand Canyon, the little lodge, I wake up John. I'm like, we have to go outside. Half the park is after dark.
And I'm like, are we being robbed? What is happening?
After park. So he's like, what are we doing? So it's 40 degrees. It's cold. We go outside and we actually see the stars.
Beautiful.
See the Milky Way. That was worth it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was worth it.
I could not fall back asleep though.
And then, which was cool too, the next morning, because we missed Mass that Sunday, but the next morning we went to daily Mass at this tiny little chapel in the Grand Canyon. Like right behind the lodges is this tiny little, looks as big as this room. And it was just us, our family, and another couple and the priest. And it was this beautiful little daily Mass. That was awesome.
That was fun. We probably went to like 6 or 7 different churches along the way, just to see like how different states and all that, and really cool sites. Yeah,
that was, and what they pray for in Santa Fe, all they pray for was rain.
Yeah,
which is very true. So it was cool to go through the different places in that perspective too.
Yep.
After Grand Canyon, we visited my auntie in Phoenix. She has an amazing Airbnb. If you have a big party, it's like a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom Airbnb in Phoenix, Scottsdale area. So if you need,
we are getting spammed. I don't.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
can you delete them?
I don't know.
Was that YouTube? You can probably go into YouTube.
Yeah. Well,
okay, that's not cool.
Yeah, please stop spamming us. That's not nice.
No, it's probably a bot.
Of course, it's not a real person. All right,
real person.
Try to keep going. I'll see
okay, you figure out how to get the bot away. All right, so if you're looking for an awesome Airbnb in Scottsdale, Arizona, email me and I can hook you up with my auntie. She has a beautiful 4-bedroom place there with a pool in Scottsdale. Super cool. Then after Phoenix, we went to Tucson and we watched Maverick because it was getting towards the end of the trip and people were getting tired. So we're like, we're going to have one rest day. We went to Saguaro in Tucson. We couldn't hike anything because it's just tons of massive cacti and it was really hot. So we drove through the park and took some pictures, and then we went to go see the movie, which was awesome. Can you get that person away?
Yeah. I think they've deleted
cool.
all the messages.
Yeah, hopefully you guys aren't seeing any bad messages.
It's not by us.
Not cool. After Tucson, the next day we went to Tombstone because I went there as a kid with my grandma long time ago, and I remember it being this cool little cowboy town. So I'm doing all the talking now, and you're gonna do all the talking afterwards. Okay. You just get ready.
Sounds good.
Thank you. I'm doing all the fun stuff. So Tombstone was fun. We saw a little acting thing. And then after that, we went to Alamogordo. And we saw another Chili's. And the kids really started loving the Chili's. So we went to the Chili's. What do they love at Chili's?
The chocolate lava cake, the dessert, and also like the baby back ribs. They felt like big people holding this tiny little baby back rib and enjoying that. So good.
So that was cool. And then the next day we went to White Sands.
That was gorgeous.
That was beautiful. And you did this cool thing, this cool lesson with the kids. So
sprinkle in some homeschooling whenever you can.
After White Sands, we went down through El Paso because there was a cute little, not cute, but there was another YouTuber did this trip, somewhat of this trip. So we watched a lot of content before we did our thing, right? Yep. So we're kind of paying it forward. And he recommended this little cafe in El Paso. And we're like, let's go try it out.
Yep.
So we went there.
It's pretty good.
It was pretty good.
I don't know if I'd make a YouTube video about it, but
I know.
It was pretty good.
We loved it. Him and his dad just loved it. His channel is called Through My Lens. So
very
paying
cool.
it forward.
Yep.
That was fun. Then we went up to Carlsbad.
Yes.
And we saw the Carlsbad Caverns and the Guadalupe Mountains. So we did that. This one was really awesome. This one was kind of hot, but super, super beautiful. Highest point in Texas. And most bats we saw. What did we see? Did we see the bats?
There was like 400,000 bats that came out. We went there the first night and it was about to rain. It was bad conditions, so no bats came out. So they were kind of like fasting. And then the next night we came out, every single bat came out of that cave. And so for about 30 minutes at sunset, you just see bats swirling, and going out. It was really cool. Like my son loved it. Our middle daughter, she wasn't really that interested. She was a little freaked out, but it was so cool.
Carlsbad Caverns were pretty awesome to go hike down there. The kids did most of the hiking, like down it. And then Johnny got smart. Like we were down there and we were walking and walking because the great room is so great. And then he looks at me and he's like, Mommy, I have to go potty. And he's like, I have to go potty. I'm like, John, you need to take him. So John starts running with him, but it's still like a big hike. And then at the end, he says that it wasn't that bad.
No, he's like, I guess I can go potty. he played us. He played us to get a ride.
Smart kid. So then that was our last national park. Then we were trekking back through San Antonio. We did the river walk. It was cool. We really liked being out in nature more than being in a downtown area. Although San Antonio is beautiful, it wasn't like what we love. We kind of like being more in the national parks.
Definitely.
After that, we ventured into New Orleans and stayed in another old hotel. And rumor has it that it's haunted.
Mm-hmm.
And it was late at night, and that was a little scary.
You found some good places towards the end. No. Her effort in selecting the place we're gonna sleep kind of you could see it. She was done with her vacation. She was like, whatever, just pick something and go.
Our points were running out, so I had to like get a little cheaper on the place at the end. So New Orleans was fun. We had beignets. That was super yummy. And then we skedaddled out of there the next morning because it's not the safest city with 3 little kids.
Yep.
Went back, and then your sister called, and we stayed 2 nights in Steinhatchee, Florida.
Went scalloping. All 3 kids in their little snorkels jumping off a boat and looking for little scallops, and we spent hours shucking them to have like enough scallops for 1 bowl of pasta. It was super fun, a great experience, but don't do that if you want to eat from your own effort.
And then we got back home, and that was about 34, 35 days.
I think it was 35 days.
Yeah. It was an awesome trip.
It was intense.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah. So that was how the business, like that was what we did.
Yeah.
And then if you have any questions, like feel free to put them in the comments. Like we'll be an open book. But the general gist of it was we put in place over the course of several years, little systems, little processes that you plug it in, you implement it, you say go, and then it continues to run without you. And some of the things that we did along the way it was an amazing trip. Over the course of the time was building out a lot of email marketing follow-ups, which was just continuing to show up for your audience, continuing to be there in their inbox at least once a week, sharing useful tips, which means you also need to have built the assets like the blog posts or the video. So because we had been publishing over the course of years, we had a library of content that could continue to be there for people. A lot of times I think that newer creators feel that if they've shared a blog post once, let's say they write a blog post, they share it, now they can't really share it again because then they've already shared it. That's really like, once you have built up this library, continue to sprinkle them in. Take your readers on a journey, on a narrative of, keep a theme. And then for the few emails, talk about that theme within, maybe it's a category of your content on your website, and continue to share the same posts, not over and over in every email, but sprinkle it in when it makes sense, when it's natural. And just know that if you look at your email open rates and click rates, they're probably 20% or so. That's kind of like an average open rate. That means that 4 out of 5 people never saw that, never even had the opportunity to see that blog post or that thing you shared. So continue to build out that follow-up sequence where if somebody comes onto your email list for a freebie or an opt-in, or maybe they tried to buy or they bought a product and they became a customer, have that sequence there to continue to show up for them, even if you decide to take a month off. That was one of the systems we put into place. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, sorry, that comment just threw me off the Durango one. So yeah, like John said, you share content that was helpful. I don't get it. Is it good or bad?
I don't know, Sherry.
Sometimes like I share something which I wrote a year ago, but I'm like, oh, this is actually helping me again because I wrote it because it helped me at that time. But now I'm going back to it. I'm like, oh, those were a couple good ideas. And I'll reshare it with my list because it's helping me at the same time too. And then I have some of my audience reach out and they're like, this specific YouTube video really helped me. And I asked her, like, which one? And it was one of me and you just going back and forth and talking about mindset. And I'm like, wow. So you're creating content all throughout your journey. And like that content might speak to somebody at a different time. So don't be afraid to reshare it, repurpose it, and use it again.
For sure. That's awesome. And so I kind of dove in straight into email marketing, but like zooming out a little bit, what do you need for a business to run on autopilot for a long period of time? For one, you need a place to get people from, to get new traffic. Every like traffic and leads and new is the lifeblood of any business. So finding a way to continue to get traffic where you're not going out. I see people in Facebook groups, and I'm not knocking if anybody here does this. Like it's a way to do it, but like going in and trying to get in people's direct messages.
That's
and
not cool.
No, I don't like it. It's not the strategy we teach or do or anything like that. But that's a form of active traffic. Like you're going out and you're trying to find things. You have to be there clicking on the keyboard to make that happen, right? So we're turning that from being outbound, going out to find traffic, to then doing inbound, which is things like search engines, getting your blog posts to rank, putting out content on YouTube. What we relied on heavily as our business has continued to grow and scale is more of paid traffic. Some of you have probably seen an ad by us. And hi there.
Hi.
hope you liked it. But the idea being that we could leave for 30 days, 100 days, and spend a few minutes here and there. I'm the tweaker. Like I'll tweak the ads and optimize them and scale them and things like that, and all stuff that's coming in future trainings. Just trust us. But things that don't require your constant attention and allow you to kind of have rules and run on their own are amazing. So for us, paid ads was a huge foundation of what allowed this trip to be possible, because we continue to have, hundreds of leads coming into our world, our email system, that are new every single day while we're gone. And then our email system, which we already talked about, continue to convert them and feed them and not be salesy or pushy, but to give them value in our absence, which was super cool.
It was cool. And I saw that Lucy here I'm talking about email, automated email sequences. So yes, so we have a long, just with our freebie, there's, depending on what they're getting, they have a little sequence that goes with that to kind of share the freebie with them and help them through that. And then we have a very long just nurture sequence for if I miss my weekly broadcast, if we're sick and something's happening, there is a cadence of they're getting an email every week. It's not pushy, it's not very salesy, but it just alerts people like, hey, I'm still here. I'm still here to help you. So that, so far, I think it's around 17 weeks. We also want to make it longer, but that could help me in case we don't have that set newsletter that we send out. But I still do send out newsletters.
Yes.
So once a week. I know that my audience, they can see if it's an automated email that was written a couple weeks ago or if I wrote it today, because I'm writing like yesterday we went to Carlsbad Caverns and it was awesome. So I also kept the list kind of updated on our journey, and I think that was kind of fun too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we made a full-time, I don't know if we're sharing numbers right. We made a full-time income on our time away. It was a great month, actually.
Yeah.
But we also know that if we were behind the keyboards and continue to be there and show up like this for our audience, we'd probably make more money. So I'm not saying that the whole passive income thing is you set it up and you walk away and you never have to work on your business again.
Yeah.
Like people can tell if you're in it. Like they can feel that your breath of your life in the business.
It's weird, but they can actually feel it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Very,
so,
very
but it's
rewarding.
nice to have had the business now that we can walk away for a month and then, okay, come back to the business and put in hard and really serve. And then, okay, we take a break and take vacation again. So that's pretty cool that, because in the beginning years, it was a little bit more on building it, right? There's more work in building the boat and putting everything together. And then once it's built, now you can start sailing.
Why's it got to be a boat?
I don't know, baby. Why's it going to be a boat?
She was surfing earlier today with me. Okay, so that's system number 2. So system 1, traffic driving in. System number 2 is continue to nurture and convert those folks by having the assets built up, building the goodwill, actually showing that you continue to show up for people, even if it's not like you behind the keyboard every single day. You're continuing to show up and building trust on an automated fashion. The third system is fulfilling on them, right? So what do they convert to? So,
right. How do you get your money?
Yeah. Ultimately, like this is a business, and I encourage you guys all to build a business and not feel like everything has to be for free all the time. I think that's one of the self-limiting beliefs that a lot of people have in the beginning, is that I'm afraid to ask for money and things of that nature. And it's fine to share your goodwill for free as long as you want to, but just know that if you never get paid, you will give up and you will move on, because it's just a hobby instead of a business. And then there's many people who could have been helped if you actually asked for money in the first place. Like if you give up and walk away, there's everybody not being helped. So what are some of our favorite ways of monetizing while we were gone on the vacation?
All right. Number one for us is digital products. So what I highly recommend, and I see a couple comments here of people doing cottage decor, renovating, even photography. Like, what small digital product can you start with and start creating that?
Yeah.
And that's really how we started how many years ago and that's when the light bulb went off. Like, I created something and we sold it. And like, I don't have to go recreate it again. I can resell it again, but there's no inventory, there's no shipping. It was one-time creation, but like really listening to and that's why creating the content first and listening to your audience, understanding what they need, so that then when you create that small digital product, it'll have a better chance of selling because you're already fulfilling a need. You're not just creating something that maybe nobody would want. So go ahead.
True, but also that could come across as you need to have this big audience before you ever launch a product, and that's also, it can be true. That's a choice you can make. In Printables by Number, we just updated it recently, and I think it's our best update to any course yet, and all the others are getting the same updates as well. Similar styles can be great, but we teach you how to get started, and we have people who started without an audience and they had sales within 3 days of taking the course.
Cool. Yeah.
So, and that was honestly growth that we've taken over the course of time, because in our mindset, we went through the process of, in the beginning, like not really knowing when's the right time to ask for money. And over time, we've learned the more successful students go closer to the beginning and starting to build the business, because all of a sudden you get that first dollar and it changes your mindset about your hobby. Now it's a business. Now you start the whole wheels turning. Which is fantastic.
Yeah. And what we also teach in Printables by Number is how to do market research without having your own audience. So it skips a little bit forward, so you don't have to spend forever creating content, even though that content's helpful to nurture your audience, but you don't need it to start.
Yeah.
So creating a small digital product and then eventually creating something a little bit bigger, a bundle, a course, services, coaching, slowly moving up from there would be ways that you can monetize.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, and we can come back into the product side more, but just to kind of round out how did this all thing happen? The last system you need is support, some form of support. So this is different depending on what you offer and things of that nature, right? For us, the majority of our products are very much do it yourself. You kind of get in, you have all the content you need. It's laid out in a easy to follow way. And so we are not required on the day-to-day of the courses themselves, but people have login issues. Maybe the course isn't quite what,
they have a question on their specific.
Yeah, things like that. And so how do you support them? And how do we support them when we're out on vacation? Well, while we are a very small team and we are the face and all that, we have some amazing people helping us and supporting us. Largely, we have an amazing virtual assistant that maybe you guys have worked with, Leanne, who's been fantastic with us. And she was able to clock in and support people on a daily basis so that our physical presence from the business wouldn't necessarily be felt. There might be some things that would need to be only, Susie or me might be able to answer it. And those might wait a few days as we're kind of checking into the hotel internet and things like that. But largely it went off without a hitch to where we came back from the vacation, checking in, 30 minutes here and there when we can. But then we get home and spend one good day of playing catch up and the business is back to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So
it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, and yes, Jennifer says that Leanne is amazingly helpful. She is wonderful. Oh man.
I caught you live. Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate you too.
So, every business is different. If you do one-on-one consulting, obviously your support system would look different than a do-it-yourself. So that's where you really get to be strategic in the beginning of seeing like what life do you want and what offers do you need to fill in to create that life.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was amazing to be able to do this. And then you can still check every day. I'm like, okay, money is still coming in and we're still all vacationing. So this is pretty such a huge blessing.
Yeah.
But it did take us time. It took us a couple of years to build a business where it's making money while we're gone. It's not overnight, but it's that first little steps to put in, and then it starts growing. And then you slowly, like, you're covering your grocery bill, and then eventually you're covering your mortgage, and then you're doing more and more, and maybe you retire your spouse, and then you take a massive, amazing vacation. So it's baby steps, and we can all get there. It just takes that dedication and that effort to put in.
Absolutely. And I never would have thought that like that would have been possible in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Never.
And so I know that if you're listening through this and you might be in the beginning phases, just know that we did not expect this at all either. I think the difference is just having smaller achievable steps that you achieve, like Susie's talking about, just the grocery bill and all that, but always having the next step you're working towards. And even now, like we are continuing to find new benchmarks and new things to achieve. Simply to keep us motivated and to keep us growing as well, and hopefully helping as many people as possible. And so now, like this trip, it was double my salary without work. Like when I was back in corporate life, in 1 month.
Like, how do we say this without saying this?
Yeah, like in 1 month, we earned more than I would earn in a year back in my old career, like significantly more. And it's a little bit crazy, but it just shows the power of sticking to it.
Yeah.
Because if we were, and we've done this, we've gone back and looking at when Susie was just getting started, when I was just getting started, and we'd have our little buddies, our little online virtual buddies we'd stick with and talk to and mastermind with. And most of them aren't there anymore. And it's just a matter of staying true and knowing what you're working towards and not giving up when times get hard.
Yeah. And it's also helpful, like if you guys can bring in your spouse or your significant other, it really is helpful to have your spouse on board. Even if they're not in the business with you, it's really just helpful, like from a positivity mindset, to have them be supportive. So if you guys have husbands out there or your boyfriends or whatnot, and they're like, what are you doing? Little Etsy shop, little printables. What's this? This is nonsense. It's not nonsense, okay?
Right.
This can be very real. Like honestly, like this retired John, this created a whole new amazing life for us. And then he came in and the business started growing even faster. So working together is actually a really good thing. But for those partners out there, do you want to give a word to the men out there, or to the
Why's it
the
gotta
couples?
be all sexist?
The couples to support each other. Just say the couples need to support each other.
Absolutely, and it goes get biblical here. Like husbands are meant to love their wives, and wives are, well, I don't, the obey thing, people get tripped up on some of that verbiage. Respect. Respect is a good interpretation there. I mean, if there's a passion, if your spouse is interested in pursuing something, whether or not you believe in it doesn't mean that you don't want that to reflect in your belief of your spouse. Like I believe in Susie, always have, always will. And in the beginning, when she started her blog, as I mentioned, we didn't think this was going to happen, but I believed in her that this was something that was going to fulfill a missing part of her, and it did. And then it created so much more. But that belief has to be there, and that teamwork, just in life and in marriage and in parenthood and all that stuff. Without that, like that constitution, it gets hard. Don't make it harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, you're friends. Let's be friends and a good team. It's fun. All right, so that's enough on that personal stuff.
Yep. Let's see here. Oh, Karen, let's just call somebody out here. Only found you a year weeks ago. Loving your content and products. Have an existing art, events, and merchandise biz. Now expanding to printables. Fantastic. That's awesome.
Unpopular Mom is doing great on Etsy. Wow. Awesome. Proud of you. And she's doing great on ThriveCard too. Go you. Woo.
Killing it. That is awesome. 1,000 sales since January on ThriveCard.
That is awesome.
We should look at how many, like individual sales. Yeah, we look at dollars, but not the number of sales. That's so cool. Oh, thank you, Anna.
Thank you, guys.
It's been super fun. And feel free to put any questions in the comments. I don't know if, I think we kind of covered it at a high level, but we can.
Yay! Thank you, Rose. Yeah, she was in the writing challenge last year, July.
Yeah.
So, and I'm so happy your family's supporting you. And here we have the spammer again.
What the heck? I
don't know.
I got him.
Get the spammer.
I put him in timeout.
Yes, that's so awesome. Okay, Tiffany says, I think this is her second comment. I have your class. How can we get some coaching? So if you want to share the work with me page.
Yes. Yeah. So if you go to Freedom by Number, I'll just share this.
Did you get the troll away?
I did.
Thank you.
I think I did. Troll is back. I think I did. I hope I did. Yeah, if you go to freedombynumber.com, and then there's a work with us page. Because we do things like 35-day road trips, we're not always at the ready for one-on-one, but it is something that we offer here at select times, and you can see on the calendar, where there's several ways we can help. Like number one is stuff like this, just hanging out with us and asking questions, and we're happy to pop in when it works with our schedule. Like one of our kids didn't sleep last night and was sick, so we do what we can, but we are getting back into a consistent rhythm. But if you want us to coach you directly, currently the price is not cheap. It's $400 per hour. That's because we're coming in and there's a bit of a deficit of our time and it's summer vacation. And you can come in here and book some time. And the way we do that is the first call is hourly consulting. We charge because we want to make sure that people are, other. And I hope that did they hear us during that? Oh,
I
don't know.
Did you say solo off? I think you would still have sound
I
off.
hope you guys heard that. I hope
Your beautiful voice.
that your audience, darn it, audience won't hear you. I think I might have clicked the wrong button.
Oh,
sorry. Oh, bummer. I'll give you the short form there. Sorry.
What happened? Okay, we accidentally clicked the button.
What happened is we've been away for a while, and I forgot how all of our tools work. So I'm getting my sea legs on me again.
So you have to keep the video on.
So I didn't know that I turned it off. If you go to freedombynumber.com, at the top, you'll see a work with us. There's a few different ways that we can support you. The free ways are to join our channels and join us live and ask questions, and we'll be able to create content for you if you ask us a great question. If you're a student of our course, feel free to email support, and we'll happily help you with our team and with us as well. But if you need direct access to work through your process, your problem, review your marketing funnels, review your business, and help you out, or if you want us to get in and do some technical work for you, the way we do that is by the Power Hour is the first step, which would be where you book some time. It is not cheap. It's currently $400, and that's because we don't have a lot of time to give. And so we have to we have to do the whole supply and demand thing with our time. And so that is the price. But I did 3 this week already.
Yeah.
And so people are happy to work with us, and it's a fun time. It's definitely awesome. And then beyond that,
you have such great advice.
Well, thank you.
Oh man.
And at the end of the Power Hour, if you want to continue on, we can talk through something like that. An ongoing relationship that would not be $400 per hour at that point, but if it makes sense, that's the first thing. We do that to guard our time and keep ourselves to make sure we're working with people who are serious, and that it just works out that way. So that's what we've gotten so far. But if you have any ideas, we're always welcome to find new and better ways of serving you. So feel free to let us know.
All right, so I think that's good. How long have we been on? 40 minutes, 47 minutes.
Oh, and we're getting straight into the technical questions. I love it. Do you? Everybody loves the tech. Do you like Book Like a Boss scheduling? I have it, but not using it yet. It works. I bought it as a lifetime deal years ago, so I bought it, and I didn't see any reason to get a different tool. It works well for us. I dislike once you're logged in, the interface is annoying. It's really unintuitive, but it works pretty well for us.
Awesome.
Okay.
I think that's good.
I think it's great.
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. If you have any tips for me on our next road trip, please drop them in the comments, and I'm going to go check out all the cool places. Or if you have any questions on where we went, John probably forgot a little bit of it. I did not. I remember everything. It was amazing. You were keeping us safe on the road, and you had a lot of stress on your shoulders. So thank you for giving us amazing memories. And then also highly recommend if you're just starting your little business and you want to get into building this online digital product business, check out Printables by Number. It's pretty awesome. We just updated again for the how many of times. We keep our products updated. We want to share the best stuff in them. I just added another lesson to it yesterday. So check out printablesbynumber.com. And if you're in the course, check out the new lesson. It's under the creation module.
Yeah. Lucy says we should come to the UK. I think that's a great idea. International.
Oh, yes.
That'd be great. And
we're going global.
World tour. We'll sit on stage and build a website. It'll be the most boring tour of ever. performing arts. And then last thing is also, as we're coming back in, we're getting back into the groove of pushing the business forward and taking it to new levels. If there's any part of that journey, from building traffic to conversions to fulfilling to supporting, any of that you'd like us to dive deeper into, either with future content or with future courses or things like that, we've been asked a lot about how we're running our ads, so that is one on our list.
Even more castles.
Feel free to let us know either in the comments of this video or any way you want to get at us, and happy to oblige.
Find my number on the tour. Yes. Thank you guys so much. We'll try to start getting a little bit more consistent with our lives as school starts, but we wanted to say hi and hope you guys have an amazing summer so far.
Awesome.
Cool. Yes.
I think we're good. Thank you guys. Have a great night, and see you soon.